Hello, everyone. Sorry we're late. Kristen's phone is having issues, so we aren't going to be live on Instagram. It's just going to be Facebook tonight.
Tell anybody that they're trying to get me, they're not going to get me anymore.
If you're trying to get Kristen, you're not going to get her anymore.
My phone is gone.
Rocky's gone. Speaking of gone, Rocky's gone. Oh, God, there goes Bam Bam.
Where are you going, Stumbles? Where are you going, Stumbles?
Stumbles McGee.
Come here, Stumbles. Come here, Stumbles. You get your little tail.
Rocky. Bam Bam. Kristen. Hope everybody's doing good. Sorry for being late. We, like I said, we're trying to get both streams going on phones, and Kristen's phone is malfunctioning.
It ain't working.
It ain't working. It is.
It won't stay on.
It won't stay on. It cuts off.
I think I'm going to need a new one.
I think she's going to need a new one. Rocky. Bam Bam.
Where are my boys? Where?
What are y'all doing?
I'm going to grab Rocky.
Yeah, do it. I dare you. If you can catch him. Hey, Cindy.
Crazy pig, don't you know that I love you? We're going away.
Oh, boy.
His hook got stuck in my pocket.
Oh, boy.
Your hook got stuck in my pocket.
Come here. Come here, babies.
Oh.
Come on. Cindy wants to see the goobers.
Where are the babies? Come here, Bam Bam. Bam Bam wants to bite me in the face.
Why do they want to hang out there? Here, I'm going to get them back in.
Okay. So are we still live? Did I mess up? Did I mess it up?
We good.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Kimberly. We'll see you on Sunday. We are excited. Y'all look at these little rascals. Aren't they cute? We were actually thinking about doing a bandage change on Bam Bam. Let y'all see what's going on. So let you see firsthand. Firsthand what's going on underneath that bandage. Oh, it's wild, though. Bandage changes are wild. It's okay, buddy. Oh, I know. I know. It's okay. It's okay.
Hey, baby.
Yeah, go down, baby. Look.
Oh, no.
Look.
That's so sweet, Bam Bam.
Y'all, let me just tell you something. Bam Bam is so sweet, but you know, he does have like a little PTSD, and I'm not lying. He really does. You know, he's just not nearly as comfortable with humans as Rocky. He hides, and
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him at all. It breaks my heart, like, when I see him hiding. I'm like, you know, it just kills me. But I would be hiding, too, if I were him. Wouldn't y'all? Oh, God. Look at that. That one does not have any trust issues. There's no trust issues with Rocky. He's just as wild as he can be.
You are insane, Rocky.
You are insane. Rocky, they want to see your pretty face, Rocky. Rocky, back up just a little bit, back up just a little bit. Okay, that's right. That's good. Okay. Y'all say he listens real well. They're real smart. But look at that. Oh, yeah, my baby. Yeah, my baby boy. You know, with Bam Bam, you can't really stand up around him. you can't really stand up because he gets so scared when somebody is standing around him. He runs and hides.
Looks pretty happy right now.
No, but if you, they're going so fast, crazy. Hello, Stephanie. Yeah, so like you have to get all the way down on the floor or at his level before he really kind of gets to this level. If I'm standing up or if Jay's standing up or anybody's standing up around him, he just kind of cowers in a corner. It's just so sad because, I mean, you know, he could have PTSD for the rest of his life. We don't know. All I know is that we're going to love him forever because he's so precious.
He's so sweet.
He is so
I
sweet.
want to go over there, but I know he'll jump up if I move.
Oh, no. Do they have other siblings? I'm sure they did. It was just 2 of them. Rocky was there was a sign that said, handicapped pig and runt. And the people at the auction grabbed them. So, oh no, everybody loves you. Everybody loves you. Nobody's gonna hurt you, Bam Bam. Nobody's gonna hurt you, but I know it's gonna take time.
Rocky.
Look at Rocky trying to eat my shoes. You see this one's over here cowered in the corner, and then this one over here, Lord only knows what he's doing.
He's busy.
He is so
Always
busy. He's so busy. He's so precious. So, do you remember the list of things that we were going to talk about?
Sure. Yeah, so we're already, like we posted about, we're already seeing signs of him having issues with his good front leg, and it's slowing him down, holding him back, everything else, and we vital to his success and his life that we get ahead of this and start figuring out what's going to work, what's not going to work when it comes to prosthetics. It's going to take a lot, and it's going to be expensive. It's going to take a lot of work. I'm sure there's going to be error, trial and error, and I'm sure the first one ain't going to work, the second one ain't going to work. I mean, that's just kind of the way these things go until we get it dialed in. But we really think that's going to be the key to his success. So, thank you everybody who's donated so far. I think we're around $1,500 on the fundraiser. We really need to focus on Patreon still, getting the monthly subscriptions up, because this cost is going to be very ongoing and it's going to be constant. And so if we can, my God, it's going to be constant. So if we can have that monthly funding up, that's what's going to sustain us through this process of getting him to his full size. And, like we have with Hannah, by the time we get there, have a final solution ready for him. And we don't know where that's going to take us. We are going to do everything we can to get him to that point. If we can get him to that point, we feel really good about him being, like Hannah, big success moving forward. And, yeah. So, that's the big thing. Kristen, do you have anything you want to add? It's going to be a big challenge getting a prosthetic dialed in, and he's going to be growing.
More than the challenge is going to be being able to afford them. Yeah. If we can't afford them, he's not going to get them. That's just, it is how it is. And, we took our babies in because, he needed us, but we're going to need all the support that we can get to be able to accommodate the needs that he has moving forward. We can't let his needs comp the farm's needs, and right now we're not being able to fundraise for the well that we need because our water's almost out, or fundraise for the medical barn that we're trying to build. We put everything on hold so we could do this for Bam Bam. And he's going to need all these different prosthetics for a very long time. So having monthly support is going to be so important. So if his prosthetics are going to be $2,500, we can't constantly fundraise for $2,500. Like, what we need is like $20,000 to have when we need it to pull from for his prosthetic. Because if we're just fundraising for each and every prosthetic, we're not gonna be able to fundraise for our farm. And that's just that. Unfortunately, you gotta have the money in the support to be able to pull off these little miracles for our little miracle man.
You see what I can do?
Look.
Oh, you play with my
Look.
Oh no, Rocky, where'd you go?
Bam Bam says, Bam Bam and Rocky said he's going to be expensive too because he's just going to tear everything up.
He's doing to you what he's doing to me. Swing it around and play with it.
Okay, so we need extra Patreon supporters to
camera so I can
to help accommodate for all. Look, yeah, they're both going to do it. Here. For all the things that Rocky's going to break.
He's having a good time.
Look at him.
Yeah, Zoe, I mean, that's the big thing is, yes, he will need, as he grows, he's going to need a new one and a new one and a new one. And,
just like humans. Just like humans. Like, there's like a little baby that came out of the womb, a human baby. Their prosthetics are going to have to switch. It's the same thing like humans as it is an animal. Identical.
yeah, in a perfect world, it'd be nice to just wait till he's fully grown and just kind of do stuff to get him by. But problem is one, he won't make it to fully grown without it. And two, we need this time to get dialed into what works, what doesn't work, and also him used to us putting it on him, taking it off, everything else. Or by the time he's fully grown, he's not going to let us do it if he's not completely used to it and an understanding of what we're doing when we're messing with his legs. So this is a really important time that we get dialed into this process. Suggestion wheels. We won't rule out anything ever. We're less optimistic about wheels being an option for him. One, that works better when it's the hind legs that are the problem instead of a front leg. And two, we've not seen, from what we've seen here and also with other people, it's really hard to get pigs accustomed and accepting of wheels.
It's so big that there won't.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a wheelchair that a big pig's going to be able to get into.
Right.
It'd be like building a car for him, and it would be really hard for him to get around in.
Yeah, and it's definitely important that the solution we have now is what's going to work for him when he's bigger too.
Yeah, and I think we need to keep our focus on prosthetics. As y'all know, we have a ton of special needs animals. We have mostly pigs. We have tried wheelchairs for all of them. All of them. Ow.
Bam, bam. How big will they get? We won't know till we know, but they could easily be, the size of Hannah Montana. So you're talking 500-600 pounds.
700 pounds.
Yeah, that's all possible.
Hannah's about 650 pounds, and that's probably where I think that they'll be, is around 650. And if you have a 650 pound pig, you just can't use a wheelchair. It's pretty impossible. So, we know that prosthetics work. We use a lot of prosthetics. We always have used prosthetics, and they're not like. It's not a perfect solution either, but we know how to work on them. Jay and I have actually built them. We learned from our friend Derek at Bionic Pets. We've watched him for hours and hours and hours and helped him. And we actually have a prosthetic lab here on the farm, but we're not nearly, like, the prosthetic that he needs is so specific. There's no way that Jay and I would be able to. We're good at simple. but we're not good at what this little guy's gonna need. Look at him laying on my hand. I just love it so much.
He's so sweet.
Look, he's like
a
you.
sweet little
He's
pig.
like you are my mom. I love him so much. But y'all, like I said, we need like a fund for him, a fund that we can pull from if we're going to be able to maintain paying for these prosthetics. And we can't sacrifice our entire farm's funding for one pig because we have 88 other animals on the farm that we have to feed and make sure they get proper vetting and all that good stuff as well.
Hey, Rocky.
But I think we're about 1,500 out of the 2,500 for the first leg. We were hoping that we would get a lot more support, so we won't have to beg for the next leg. But we'll just see how it goes. We're very grateful for all the support that we have received.
Look at Bam Bam.
No, I don't want to move.
He's so sweet.
I don't want to move. Look at his little tail. Look at his little rat tail.
Oh no.
Look at his little rat tail. Oh God, look at it.
He wants to get his belly.
Oh no, I'm gonna get it.
Oh, with your hand. Oh no. You gotta do like Indiana Jones. You gotta do a little swap.
Look. Look. Oh my God, I love him so much.
He's such a baby.
So we were thinking about doing the bandage change, so y'all can see what it looks like, see what his nub looks like. The last one we did, he looked good. These are soaking wet. I'm putting them around. They can't.
Yeah, if you want, we can do that. We'll have to figure out where we can set up the camera for it.
Yeah. Where's the camera that you were using? The tripod.
It's out there.
That would probably be the best way.
Yeah, I can grab it if that's what we want to do.
But so talking about how we do bandage changes and how we like to address, I guess we can go ahead and talk about anesthesia.
Mm-hmm.
So with anesthesia, we are constantly talking about, and we don't say it just because Jay and I feel a particular way. We say it because this is what vets have told us since we've started. ISO gas is the best way. The pig vets say ISO is the best, safest way. Dr. Hawkins says ISO is by far the safest way. He only wants to use ISO. It's not going to be, we try to only use ISO, but there's like a lot of different variables that go into vet care on whether it's going to work or not. Because if your intention is to sedate an animal, we try not to sedate at all. Like, if he was in a hospital setting, they would probably sedate him for every bandage change, and then he would come back. We don't. It takes us a lot longer than it would in a hospital if he was using sedation drugs, because he's running all around. We got Rocky assisting us and all that stuff. So what would take a few minutes in a vet hospital under sedation takes us 10 times as long. And that's one of the things. Another thing is, like, if it's a very aggressive pig, if it is a very, very skittish pig, or animal just in general, like, it would be very, very hard to do the ISO, just ISO. The difference is there are things that can offset those needs, and we have actually purchased all the equipment for that. So, like, if we had an aggressive pig and we were going to try to sedate them with ISO and they didn't want to be messed with, we have the big feet first lift, and it basically immobilizes them. And so we can do whatever we want, like they can move their head a little bit, but they can only move their head but so much. And our anesthesia machine, it has really long cords on it, and tubes on it. And so, like, once we put it on their mouth, if they're in that lift, then, and they're trying to fight, we go with it, you know. But if it's a pig if it's somebody besides us doing these types of protocols, you can see where it would be very difficult, even if it was a vet, even if it was somewhere else. But these are just all the ways that while we're doing things different here at the River Center for Compassionate Care, we have tons of equipment that allow us to do things in the safest way that we possibly can. And for like pot bellies, smaller ones, we have the Panapinto sling. So, you know, we try to be as advanced as we possibly can and as safe as we possibly can. We always say, why use injectable if you don't need to? And that's like, there is nothing safe. Use the injectable, then there's no reason for us to. And we're going to avoid that at all costs. I'm sure there's going to be a time when we're going to need it. That's just a reality. But and if you don't have the Panapinto sling and the feet first lift, in the diligence to try to, you know, focus on ISO versus injectable, you know, all those are factors that go in. You know, also it talks, you know, like what kind of pig they are. Are they a big pig? Are they a farm sized pig? Are they a potbelly? Do they have underlying health issues? Their age. There's a million other things that go hand in hand, especially with injectable. ISO is pretty safe. It's not always 100%. Trust me, Ziggy's 16 and every 5 months he gets his injections. And the reason why we use ISO is because his injections they're pretty gnarly. It hurts. We stick needles into his joints and it's very painful. So I definitely don't want Ziggy to go through that, you know, in pain. I don't want, you know, and I get nervous. Like when we do his ISO, I do get nervous. I mean, like any type of sedation, there's not going to be risk, even with ISO. But I don't want anybody. There are reasons why people are using, you know, these injectable sedations. But like I said, we've always tried to be trailblazers in doing things the safest way. We are the very first sanctuary on earth to have the feet first big pig lift. And honestly, they had quit making it. They literally quit making it. And I contacted the company that made it, and I said, I want a feet first one. I want the same one that they have at UT. I really, really want it. And they're like, I'm sorry, we quit making it. And I was so devastated because I was like, I need this lift for our big pig. Well, for a year, I still want that lift. What can you do to get me that lift? And they said, well, we actually sold the plans to a different company, a different manufacturer, but they hadn't even started making them yet. So I contacted this new company that had the blueprints for our big lift, and I said, I need that lift. I need it. Do whatever you got to do to get it for me. So we were the very first people to ever get that lift. I was the one that brought it back into manufacturing before we begged for it to get back in manufacturing. You know, because we pushed them into a new realm, a new target market. It used to be hospitals, and now sanctuaries are getting them. And we're a huge advocate for it. Now a lot of different sanctuaries are, but these are all the different ways that we're doing things, and we're learning new practices, and then we're taking these practices and we're sharing them with the world so they can all be able to do vet care and medical care on their animals in the safest way possible. Did I cover things?
Yeah. No, I think you did good.
And so when it comes to our poor boy Homer, that was absolutely terrible. As scary and as risky as injectable sedation as they are, like, it is so important to get accurate weight. It's so important to make sure that your animal is 100% before they head home. We've been through that. It's been scary. Like the last 2 times we took Ziggy to New Bolton Center for these joint injections, we didn't think that he was going to go home. I mean, the last time he had all the similar symptoms. He couldn't breathe. He wasn't coming out of the sedation. It was so cold. I remember it was freezing. It was in the teens, and Ziggy couldn't get up. He couldn't walk. He was screaming and crying, and it took 6 people, and we had to burrito him and put him in the back of the car. And y'all, it literally killed me. It killed me. I was crying. It was Giving Tuesday, not this year. It was Giving Tuesday the year before. I remember it was the worst Giving Tuesday ever. It's like we have a huge goal to meet, and all I wanted to do was die because of my pig. I didn't think he was going to make it through the night. But that was, and they looked at us and they said, "Look, we don't think he should ever undergo anesthesia again." And we're like, it's the injectable sedation. That is the reason why our child is almost dead. And
then he would fight it. You know, when they wake up, you know, pigs, especially, they fight that feeling so hard. And they're too drunk to walk, but they try. And then they fall and they trip and they slip and they bang themselves all over the place. And it's doing more damage than good. And just across the board, it was. For Ziggy specifically, it wasn't any feasible anymore. And just in general, it's like, God, we just need to avoid this as often as we can, especially when something's elective.
And so Ziggy's had those joint injections twice. He's a year older, and he's had those injections 2 different times. And we used ISO, and knock on wood, no issues. 0 issues. Ziggy immediately got back up, and he was walking around literally within 3 minutes. That just doesn't happen with the sedation, the injectable sedation. I don't care what
best case
says.
scenario.
I don't care what anybody says out there. Anybody. I will go. I've been seeing people talk like, right, it's okay if you get this and that right. No, it's not. That's bullshit. Complete bullshit. What it is if you don't need injectable sedation, none of the drugs are going to be perfect. They're all going to be at added risk. There are some of the injectable sedatives that are harder on the pigs to wake up. None of them are easy. That's the reality. If you can get by without using them, you need to get by without using them.
And we're not saying anytime a vet uses it on a pig, they're doing bad. That makes them a bad vet. Anything like that. It's a far more complicated conversation than that. But we feel pretty strongly that anytime you can avoid it and use gas instead, you should.
Right.
And
absolutely. For bandage changes, for hoof trims, for biopsies, for skin biopsies, for joint injections, for anything that is routine and minor, either do a local anesthesia, like, where you numb an area on their body, their little body, and put them in a lift, or a belly rub. A lot of our animals, like Diesel, there's no need to sedate him. There's no need to even use the ISO gas on him. People ask us all the time, you sedate him for radiographs. I saw the pictures.
He was chilling.
That is from, he is sedated from a belly rub. That's what he's sedated from. But there's just, I just can't preach more about doing things in the safest manner possible, because there are the safest forms. But if a vet doesn't have our lifts are expensive. The Feed First lift is like $15,000. The Panepinto lift is probably $5,500 plus. I don't know. I'm quoting things the prices that it was when we bought them like 7 years ago. But if they don't have our equipment, then they can't. They're going to have to probably use the injectable sedation. So if, this is like when we say then Dr. Hawkins loves pigs. He loves all farm animals. If there's a way that he can help outside animals, he wants to. If you're in our area, if your pig needs a biopsy done, not like an external biopsy, that we would be able to do that without even any sedation whatsoever. If they did, we would only use ISO. Y'all should see Jay. Let me just tell y'all something. It is kind of wild, okay? When we were trying to sedate Flo, he's a little bit wilder than Diesel. You should see Jay and Dr. Hawkins in that stall. Like, they're literally fighting the babies with the gas mask on them, right? Until they breathe in enough gas that they go to sleep. And that these are huge, 700-pound, big, beautiful babies. And if they're gonna fight you, they're gonna fight you. Like, they don't know what this crap is you're putting on their face, and then they smell something, And then pigs also are like this. If they start feeling sedation, one of the things that happens is once they feel like their body is, calming down, they'll fight that feeling because they like to be control over what's going on with their body. So instead of chilling out, they fight it until the point where they're absolutely manic. Those are things that you're going to have to, if that's the case, they'll probably have to stop and do an injectable sedation. But it's about literally learning and researching and talking to people. We get messages all the time. And now that we have a wonderful group of people behind the scenes that are doing our messages and our emails and all that good stuff, they're all trained on what we do. And if they don't know what the answer is, they just text Jay and I, and we will we'll send them the information that they're looking for. Jay and I are by no means vets, but what we do listen to is the best vet on earth, and that's Dr. Hawkins. And any surgery that he does on animals, I would let him do on me. He is just the most incredible surgeon and doctor, and he has the biggest heart, and all he wants to do is help animals. That is all he wants. He wants to help animals. He wants them to live, and he wants everything to be done in the easiest way, the easiest it could be on the animals. If there's a way that he can reduce risk, Dr. Hawkins is going to do it. He's amazing. Every single time we use gas, whether it's an amputation or whether it's a different kind of surgery, or whether we didn't even need to sedate him the other day with ISO gas but we actually thought he was going to have a surgery, so we did it anyways. But then when we got in, we're like, oh, he doesn't need a surgery, so that was good. But we did use ISO, but he did fine. Within 30 seconds of that thing coming off, he's like coming back to life, and he's just like, oh, hey, I'm doing all right. And that, there's no trouble breathing. There's nothing. We have a vitals monitor that monitors everything. It monitors their oxygen. It monitors their heart, their temperature. It has like a EKG there's so many different adapters for a vitals monitor. But, but more than anything, we have Dr. Hawkins who's at the helm, and that's the most important thing. And we listen to everything, and he is teaching us so much. But at the end of every procedure, Dr. Hawkins talks about how he is so happy doing things the way that we do it here because it's the way that he's wanted to do it his entire career, and because you know, hospitals have their own policies and procedures. He had to, you know, he has to operate within those parameters, and he's like, I've always begged our anesthesia team to let's just get the injectable, and he just couldn't. I mean, after every procedure, he just can't believe how fast our animals are recovering and how well they're doing. You know, after our little procedures, like one of the things we like to do is give an injectable painkiller. We like to give Banamine or a antibiotic, right? But we want to give it to them before they wake up. You know, we don't want to stress them out again. So a lot of times we forget about it until like the mask is off of them. We're like, oh my God, we forgot to give Banamine. We forgot to give antibiotics. And if we don't have it right there beside us, we've already missed our window because they wake up so fast because it's so safe. I'm not going to say it's 100% because, you know, there's risk with anything medical, but we just love what we do. We love the fact that we do things the safest way we possibly can. And we really hope that people will ask us questions, to ask us about our feet first lift and our Panapinto lift and how we do things, and ask us about our anesthesia machine, where you can get one. You know, all these are things that we hope that like vet clinics around the country and the world are going to be able to migrate towards. If not, y'all call us. If we can help you, we will. It's just, I just hate hearing animals who die under injectable sedation. It's too often. We've lost animals under injectable sedation, and it's the worst feeling in the world. You think that, you know, that they tell you that they're gonna give your animal a light sedation, and then your animal doesn't wake up from it. It's horrible, and you know, especially with Homer passing. You know, when an animal dies, it affects way more than just the family. And we loved Homer. We loved watching him and his mom Val on TikTok. And you know, it's when you love like an animal, and when you love a pig, a cow, you are in a community at that point, and the community is your family because, you know, you want to have that community that, you know, where there's people that love their pigs as much as you love your pigs, and then they also love your pig like their pig. And it's just really, really sad that, you know, what Val's going through. Trust me, we've been through it with, as y'all know, we're still dealing with stuff with River. And we're not going to really talk about that because we're trying to settle things. But one day we will. We'll go over more. If you're on Patreon, then y'all are up to date. But yeah, it's just, we just want to do things safe. It's not about ego. It's about doing what's best for our animals. If you can do better, you need to do better. And that's the bottom line. I could talk about it all day. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna just stop. It's just a sore subject because I hope people will watch what we do at the River Center for Compassionate Care, and I really hope that they will buy the equipment that will enable them to do things in a much safer manner. What do you think, Jay?
I agree with everything you said. You
Want
said
to add anything?
I mean, there's a couple things I was gonna add, and then you started saying those things that were in my head, and then
So I hit it.
I think you hit it, honey. I think you hit it.
And, you know, if you need second opinions, everything like that, I won't give it, but Dr. Hawkins, he probably will. He's just the most wonderful man in the entire world. I'm not obsessed or anything like that. We're very obsessed with him. We are so dependent on him.
Look at these rascals.
What else is on our list of things to do?
The database.
The database. Oh my God, y'all. Oh, this database is my dream come true. You know, in my mind, I'm like, okay, we're going to start the River Center, and then we're going to get this database, but I'm going to have to hire somebody for like $100,000 a year to build this thing, you know, and I'm like, I ain't got $100,000. Y'all have $100,000? I was like, it's going to cost a ton of money to build it. And I was like, so I get a call. We get a message, and the message was like, you know, I lost my pig at Tufts. And Kirsten was like, we have a really good conversation about it, and I was just like, you know, one of the things, actually, Jay, you're really good at talking about this, how the hospitals don't communicate and.
Yeah, so, you know, us in particular, and then lots of other sanctuaries as well. I'm going to give you this then. Lots of other sanctuaries. I mean, just sanctuaries as a whole, farm sanctuaries. You know, we deal with issues, medical issues with these animals that, like, haven't been treated very often historically, if not ever. And so, you know, when we find a good vet team that wants to, you know, dig in and try and find a unique situation and take on something new, you know, we're all for that. And a lot of the animals end up having good outcomes, and that's great. But always in the process of doing something for the first time, there's a learning process to it. There's, you know, mistakes that are made, you know, with you know, the best interest at heart, and there's, you know, things done right. And unfortunately, you know, like the animals that we've had here that have gone through situations like that are, you know, one of a kind type cases. We've had people reach out to us and say, oh, you know, I have a pig that's dealing with, you know, X, Y, and Z. We heard you did too. Our vets don't know what to do next and never seen anything like it. But it sounds like you guys have been through that. And then we're able to connect them with the records, and things are good. But that whole process is dependent upon people knowing each other and people communicating with each other and having to know the stories of their other animals and stuff. And there's, you know, there's a lot of luck that's involved in that, but there's no like process for which that information is getting out to the public and shared amongst all the other universities and all the other vets and doctors and stuff. So yeah, it's a missed opportunity where, you know, we saved one life where we could have saved hundreds. Or, you know, it's, well, this animal's dying, we gave it our best shot, this didn't work, next time maybe we could try this. And, you know, these are all, you know, those are all the things that are the process for learning, the process for advancing things. And, you know, we just feel like there's a lot of really, really big missed opportunities out there. And I think sanctuaries could very much be and should be behind, you know, driving force behind that, because we're typically the ones with the animals that are going through these unique procedures and doing that. And of course, you know, like the information sources don't have to be limited at all to coming from sanctuaries. But I think between Dr. Hawkins being so well respected in the veterinary world, and then us and all the sanctuaries speaking with each other and sharing information, that we think it's something that could be extremely valuable and accelerate the process for which this medicine can grow and help animals better.
Yep. So, this database, I'm getting back to my baby, okay? This database has always been a dream, because I want something that vets can have access to, and if sometimes vets are not open to new things, y'all. Many are. And what we're going to try to do is network with every single rescue in the world. Not just rescues. I want to talk to, and these are not just pigs. This database is for all farm animals. I want all farm animals to be treated like humans are in hospitals and like cats and dogs are. Why should our animals be treated any less? They shouldn't. Y'all know, these are our babies. We love them just as much as parents love their human kids. These are our human kids. They just happen to be born in broken pig suits over here. So there's never been, because these hospitals don't communicate, a successful surgery at one might mean that another pig dies at another one because they didn't know what to do, and there wasn't anything to go by. There have been plenty of hospitals that literally Jay and I have had an animal dying in, and one day we're gonna really come out, y'all. We're gonna do a tell-all, but it ain't gonna be today because we got secrets, okay? But one time, this one specific, we have an animal. They tell us he's dying. They're asking us to put him to sleep. They said he's not gonna make it through the night. He's still here, y'all. Okay, I'm not even gonna talk about which one it is. We're just gonna skip by it. Anyways, I said, well, I know that there was a pig at Cornell. He had the exact same thing. The blood work comes back the same diagnosis. And because drugs, these hospitals refuse to use particular drugs on these animals because even though they're pets and they'll never go into the food system, they're still considered livestock. They're still considered food animals, which means no matter what, it's illegal to use specific drugs for them, right? Well, they need these specific drugs to live, right? And they need access to them. So I told him about there was an experiment that this hospital had done, and it had worked for this pig. And I said, would you please, please, please contact the hospital and the vet that did this procedure on this pig that saved their life? And they're like, no, we can't because we won't talk to them. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, this is literally life or death for our animal. And I'm looking at the vet and I'm saying, and you will not have a conversation with the vet? And like, they knew I'd gotten upset. And I'm like, you will not have a 5-minute conversation to save an animal's life because you don't want to have a conversation with another vet school. It was nauseating. It was so frustrating. So I said, well, I mean, we'd already contacted the vet from that vet school, and we said, it was actually Cornell. And Cornell is a great school that is wonderful at sharing information with. They have no problem sharing information. They're open book. If there's a way that they can help an animal at another hospital, we haven't ever had trouble getting their vets to share their information. And they're probably one of the most cutting edge schools in the country. I really think so. I think they're probably the best. I don't know. I know they do some crazy things. They're doing joint replacements and everything. So, which is going to be in our database. Y'all, don't you worry. But anyways, and we said, well, can you please do this? And like, I even found the protocol and I told them about it. And I said, this is what we want to use. And I said, and here's the vet, here's her cell phone number. They wouldn't call her. Nope. They said, if she wants to call, she can leave a message with our front desk, the secretary. Just call the main number, but we won't call her back. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. So, if the vets aren't going to use the database, y'all, then I want the database available to the owners. And I don't want, and how we're going to set it up is like, and we recruited 2 wonderful vets, Dr. Bowman, Dr. Hawkins, Dr. Laurel Bowman, we love her, Dr. Hawkins, and they are going to help us, like, put everything in the database, you know. And I said, you know, when a vet is looking up solutions to something, they're going to be looking for the technical terms. If a owner is looking up something and they don't know the technical terms, they're going to do like the layman's terms. So, like, here's an example. So, if we're looking to do an arthrodesis on a sheep, Moko is the very first sheep on earth to ever have an arthrodesis, bilateral arthrodesis. And some of y'all are probably listening saying, what the hell is that, right? It's a joint fusion. That's what it is. So, like, if you were Googling because you have a Moko at home and your Moko needs a joint fusion, you would look up a joint fusion. So, in this database, we're going to actually create it so it's going to be easy for y'all to look at. And it's also going to be easy for vets to look at. So, if the vet want to actually look at the database, we want to be able to give owners all access to all the information and make it easy for you to find things. Because, like, when you're in a hospital and a life is on the line, you might not have time to make a bunch of phone calls, right? And, you know, it's like the vets might be looking at you and say, make a call. And you're like, wait a second, can I get a little bit more time? A lot of vets don't like it when you get second opinions. We've dealt with that quite a bit. It's like, it's either their opinion or, you know, it's like they're giving you an option and that option is the only option you're going to get because they don't want you to get that second opinion. Some have no problem with second opinions. It's just kind of like the luck of the draw. But in that case, I want y'all to be able to pull up on your phone our database, look up what's going on with your animal, and see if there's something out there that if there's another animal that has your particular diagnosis, what's going on, you can read about it, and you can say, look, this is what happened here. Here's the medical records from this case at this university. This is what happened, the diagnosis, the outcome, right? This is what we want to get. And, like, you know, this isn't going to just save our animals. It's not going to just save animals in the United States. This database is going to be changing, and it's going to be globally changing. It's going to be worldwide. Anybody can use it. There's translators out there today, and I'm sure it'll be able to be translated into whatever. But it's just, and this is something that I can't believe there is nothing. And I'm just so excited that, I'm just so excited to develop something that's going to further medicine for our babies. And, you know, whoever you're working with, if they tell you that there's no other options, you're going to know if there's options or not. And, knowledge is power. Knowledge is super power, especially when your animals' lives are at risk. Your life is at risk. Your kids' lives are at risk. And we're going to be able to give you guys access to it. And I just can't believe that Kirsten called me. And I'm sitting here telling her about this database that I have in my head that Jay and I have been talking about for years. And she said, Kristen, she said, girl, she's like, I am a software engineer. And I was like, I had it, like, my head, like, did a spin. I was like, what? And I was like, all right, next thing. And she's like, and I will do it for free. I was like, y'all, do y'all know what it feels like when you're, like, wanting to win the lottery and then all of a sudden you won? That's how I felt. I don't know the feeling of that, by the way. I never won the lottery. But I feel like I have. Because Kirsten called me and literally said, I'm going to make your dreams come true for free. And her brother is also a software engineer. And their mom is technical. And now we have a doctorate of statistics who wants to join our group. We have tons of people who are going to be volunteering to help with data input. We have wonderful vets that are going to help us formulate the descriptions and to make sure that we're able to search for things, and you know it's going to take a long time, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I mean, the database is almost I guess like the platform itself is almost ready to start importing records already, y'all. Like, we'll probably be importing medical records next week. Isn't that crazy? Like, literally, they've already like started. I mean, they said that basically it's done. We were supposed to Zoom tonight, but my phone died. I'm gonna have to figure out a different way to contact Kirsten. Kirsten, if you're on here, send us a DM so I can give you Jay's number. My phone's gone. I need it. I want to Zoom with y'all so I can look at the database. But this is just, it's going to be groundbreaking. This is going to really, really connect. Y'all know The World is Flat, that book, the Thomas L. Freeman. Y'all know that book? Okay, I loved it. I read it. But it's the same concept. It's like we are going to connect all the missing pieces of the world to put things together, and everything's going to make sense. You know, this is it. If y'all want to be part of our volunteer team, send us a message. We are starting everybody in our social media group that helps with all our social media. But we're keeping everybody there because that's the only way we can keep track of everybody. And once we get to know everybody through social media and hanging out in our lounge, we have a lounge online, and everybody talks and chit chats and talking about animals and all this, everything fun. Just really, it's a really fun community where we get to know each other. I'm gonna tell you something. Jay and I love being in the lounge. We're not in all the groups that we have going on, but we are in the lounge just so we can just chit chat and get to know everybody a lot better. But it's just such a warm community of loving people. Literally, our volunteers are in 3 different continents. And it's just amazing getting to know all these people. And there's this sweet little Jenny. She's in Australia, and she'll send us little videos, and her little voice is so cute. And I just love everything. I love our group. If y'all want to be part of our volunteer team, send us a DM. You're going to hear from either Jamie or you're going to hear from Darlene. Darlene is the head of our volunteers, and she's in Canada. It just shows y'all, like, seriously, like that book, you know, The World is Flat. That's how it is. It's like Ziggy Nation is full of people from all over the world. And we all,
excuse me.
Bless you, baby. And we're all coming together to unite for the greater good of farm animals. And we'd love to, if y'all are interested in being part of this incredible team.
Hey, Bella Boo.
We'd love to have you. Bella Boo, we want you to come. And your sister.
You can do cartwheels.
And Bubba. We'll do cartwheels. With dresses on. No. Maybe. Maybe. We love Belle. That's a little, anyways, a little inside thing. But anyways, if y'all want to be part of this, you're invited. You're absolutely invited. We have lots of different coals in the fire right now. So basically, everybody goes into our social media group. They get acquainted with our social media. They learn everybody in our group. And then once we get to know everybody really well in our social media group, we start branching them off into different tasks and projects based off of things that we learned that they can do. We have so many needs right now. We have so many needs. And just because we're telling you that you're going to be in our social media group first, basically it's just helping us get to know you better, get to know what you can do, and so we can marry up our needs with the people in our group that have specific skill sets. So I really think that everybody loves our groups. Look, we've had one person drop our group, and today she wanted to come back. You know, it's because it's cool. We have fun. We're over 20 people, headed to 30 people in these like remote groups. So y'all get all the behind the scenes. Y'all get all the crazy things that Jay and I have going on. There's just so much. It's just a fun little behind the scenes community that we have going on. But yeah, please join us. If there's any vets out there, every single medical record is going to be. We want them to be looked over by one of the vets. So if there's a vet out there, if you're a retired vet, we would love for you to be part of our team. I don't want to be I don't want to be too much of a burden on the beautiful vets that we already have. So if we could get a couple more, I would love to get extra eyes on different. I have a feeling we're gonna have a lot of medical records coming in the next several months, and I want to recruit as many. So like if you know of anybody who has, so another thing is like what anybody can do is if you know somebody that has something happen to a farm animal, and it wasn't normal. I don't really care about the spays and neuters and that kind of stuff. Like, so tonight I got a text right before my phone died. There's this lady and her pig had 2 brain surgeries. I've never heard of a pig having a brain surgery before. And we've actually talked to people. We've had a pig that had a lot of seizures at one point, and so we had talked to several vets saying, like, you know, is there a surgery that you can do on their brain to fix what's going on? And we haven't ever found anybody who would be willing to operate on a pig's brain. Now I know somebody. He's not only had one brain surgery, he's had 2. He was actually on life support for a month. Like, I've never heard of a pig on for any other. Like, if I had known that, I would have done things different. Like Allison had been on life support, but they said she would never come out of it. I wish I hadn't taken her off of it. You know, we thought we let her go because they told us there wasn't anything else that we could do. Today, I would have said let's try to, you know, let's do things different. Let's if they can be on life support for a month and then they can come out of it and live a normal life, like, I would have done that in a heartbeat. Like, that'd been no issue. But these are all the things. These are all the cases that we want to come through our portal into our database. Any successful, non-routine,
or unsuccessful.
That's
valuable
because we would love to know
too.
what didn't work for.
Yeah.
But if they have any specific cases that are pretty non-routine, we want them.
Unique.
For cows, for alpacas, for chickens, for pigs, for goats, for sheep, all farm animals.
Goldfish.
We're not exotics, Jay, but
Oh no.
we're for any farm animal. So if y'all know of people, go ahead and let them know that they need to start calling their vet clinics and getting us detailed medical records, and they can start forwarding them to us so we can have them uploaded into our database. We have a system. It's going to be a process. It's going to take time, but I really hope in the next 6 months there's going to be something really, really, really valuable that we can offer the world. I really do, and I think we will. I am 100% in this. Like, I have never been so excited about furthering veterinary medicine for farm animals than I am now. But anyways, so that's my database, y'all. We're really excited about it. And this little guy, come here. Jack, talk. Okay, now let's move on to the next thing. Talk about him. He came busy yesterday.
All right.
chat. We had a visit from RJ Mitty. I don't know if y'all know. What he's most famous for is Chris and I's personal favorite show, which is Breaking Bad. And he played Walter White Jr. on there. And we become friends with his agent, Ben. And Ben said RJ wanted to come visit. And we said, please bring him out. And we had a great time with him and his girlfriend, Kennedy. And we had a lot of really good conversations with them about a lot of actually really important things to help animals and farmed animals, and we really enjoyed our time, and it was fun as people who are huge fans of Breaking Bad, you know, from that perspective.
We were those fangirls.
I
We
was
were.
like for days telling everybody like, oh God, I hope I don't say something stupid.
I probably did, but it's all right.
I don't think you did.
Jeanette, the owners of the animals are going to have to be the ones that get the medical records. We're not going to be able to make any of those calls. None of them. So it's going to be, for us to be able to have access to that information, the animals owners are going to have to go and get those medical records and then send them to us. But y'all, I tell you what, if y'all hadn't seen Breaking Bad, you really need to. I'm going to tell you something. It's the best show that's ever been on TV.
100%.
Like, Jay's watched it, I don't even know how many times.
17.
He's watched it a lot. I watched it definitely a whole time. I watched every single show, Jay.
I know.
So y'all,
We
let
don't
me
do that at all.
let me just tell y'all something. So everybody makes fun of me because I know somebody out there does what I do, and what I do is I find a TV show that has a lot of seasons and a lot of episodes, and what I do drives Jay crazy, but it is what it is. I turn it on and I fall asleep, and when I wake up, I don't go back. So even if I miss 4 episodes, I just keep going. And then you know, if I don't know what's going on, I just don't know what's going on. I never go back. I just move forward. And I don't know why. I know there's got to be somebody like that out there. I just don't like to go back. I don't hit the rewind.
She watches maybe 30% of the show, but she'll make it to the end, and then she just moves on, and she doesn't see the ending. She doesn't know what's going on. It's usually shows she's not even interested in.
I kind of prefer those.
Yeah. So then I'm watching a show that I really don't know what's going on. I really have no interest in, and it's like 7 freaking seasons.
Oh gosh, Teresa, I'm with you. You know, Breaking Bad, in the very, very, very beginning, it starts out kind of slow, right? But I think all that was it's like that's kind of, and then every single show, it builds and gets crazier and crazier and crazier until you really think that it can't get any crazier, and then it gets crazier. And then you're just like on the edge of your seat, and it's an addicting show.
It's as if every episode is a little bit better than the one before it. So it starts off, you're like, okay, I guess, good, cool concept. And the next one, you're like, okay, yeah, all right. Next one, you're like, okay, yeah. And then before you know it, like it's all encompassing in your head. Wow, really good show. I really like it.
It is such a good show. And y'all, RJ wants to be part. RJ and Kennedy, they loved it out here, and they actually want to be part of our sanctuary family for the long run.
They play tug of war like one side and the other.
They're so cute. Yeah, we're just super excited. RJ wants to be part of our family for the long run, so we're excited. He wants to help us do fundraisers and stuff like that.
And he does a lot of really good charity work.
He does. He does he said he does like 20 charity events a year, which is pretty wild. That's, 1 or 2 a month.
Purdue right now, right?
Yeah, he's at Purdue speaking right now. Are they the cutest? Look, I'm obsessed with these little guys. Look, I'm obsessed with y'all. When they first got here, they wouldn't go down for a belly rub. Now look, look at this. Look at him chewing and belly rubbing. Look.
It's hard to touch them, but they're hiding. They definitely gotten over that.
They look like they're eating spaghetti.
They're so silly. They're so silly.
Oh, Zig. Let me tell you something. Zig is wild, okay? He will be 16 in July. And I'm so obsessed. I'm so obsessed with that boy, if y'all didn't know. And tonight, he swam in the pool. What time did he get out of the pool? 7:20?
Something like that, yeah.
He swam till about 7:20 tonight. Normally, he's in bed. He's back in bed by 5. Tonight, I thought he was headed back to the barn tonight, to the barn apartment. It's not, I shouldn't even say the barn. I don't want people to think Ziggy sleeps in a stall.
Heaven forbid.
No, he does not sleep in no stall. It's our little studio apartment down there. It's really nice. But, it's Ziggy's own little space, so he doesn't have to share his bedroom with Biscuit, Leroy, and Hope and Journey. But normally he's back in bed by 5, and tonight I turn around, and that's okay. That's okay. You just enjoy them. I thought we were going to be walking back to Ziggy's bed. I turn around, he's just standing in the pool looking at me. And I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. I didn't think he was going to swim very long, but he did. He swam for about 2 hours tonight. And Jay had already swam with him. But he was a little tired today. He was a little sore because since we had guests yesterday on the farm, Ziggy needed to show off.
He loves showing off for kids.
He loves anybody who's ever taken a tour here or been here. Everybody knows that Ziggy has to show off whenever there's guests here. So he was absolutely wild while RJ was there, and his arthritis is kicking in. I mean, it's not great, but he still gives it his all. We're actually talking to Dr. Hawkins tonight about scheduling his next injections. We're about at April
8th will be 4 months.
April 8th will be 4 months. And so we're already going to start lining up his, look at him, Ziggy's next injections. We'll probably try to shoot for the 5-month mark for his injection. So, it takes a little while for them to develop them. And then, so I guess we'll probably shoot for like around May 8th for a time for somewhere around May 8th. It's a lot because we have to have him overnighted, and then they have to go into his joints immediately. We can't wait overnight for him. There's just like a lot of little things that we have to do, and it's a lot of planning. He is the king. Y'all look at them. Can y'all hear? Listen to him. I feel like we need to give him a baby bottle.
Yeah.
A little.
They love this.
They are so cute. They need a little pacifier, don't they?
Yeah. I think they got it. This is their pacifier. They love it. Oh no, man. Oh no.
Oh, they did. Oh, Ziggy definitely showed off for. Yeah, Ziggy showed off for Steve and Matt.
Of course they did.
Baby Chris is doing so good. Baby Chris is huge.
Oh God, I love baby Chris.
Oh, he's the sweetest thing ever. He's so precious.
So sensitive.
He's so sensitive. Just a little baby. A little 650-pound baby.
Yeah.
Y'all look at these babies.
It's so sweet. They love chewing on that string.
The baby, I think they need. Here, I'm gonna go look at this. Will you hold up? I'm gonna go look at all this. you see we knocked it out, babe.
What are you looking at?
All this. RJ, Anesthesia, Bam Bam, River Center, Volunteer. We knocked it out of the park, babe.
All right.
It's 9:27. Oh, poor phone.
Is it still broken?
Yeah, we
That
can
really
do
sucks.
will you try to upload, or if we can get it on, can you immediately try to do the cloud, update the cloud?
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid I'm going to lose everything.
Yeah, we can do that. Well, honey, should we jump off of here?
Yeah, we got to talk to Darlene. But y'all, thank y'all for everything. I don't know where we are with the fundraiser. We really needed $2,500 for that little precious little thing. And we were at $1,500 before we went live. So I'm not sure where we were 1,000 short for his prosthetic. So
It was really good, Bam Bam.
will they suck your thumbs? They'll bite them.
They'll bite your fingers.
They'll bite them. And they hurt. Their teeth are very sharp. Look.
It's like a nibble, and then all of a sudden they ramp it up.
Well, y'all, have a wonderful night. Spread the good news. Spread all the news. Because, everything is about sharing information. And for us to complete this database, we need all the information we can get. All right, y'all. We love you. Thank you for all the support. And please share Bam Bam's fundraiser for today. We love you. Say good night, Bam Bam.
Say good night, Bam Bam. No, we went back for it. We went back for it.